Okay. Oh, never mind.
No, but, I don't.
Dooby 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 dooby. You guys not? I don't want pink slimes rattling around my palm. One day, you're gonna
Blah,
see
blah,
that.
blah, I already know about the battle pass. Look at my freaking face. I am on, so chill.
Jesus. Yeah. You will come with me. You will come with me. You will come with me. And you come. And you're going to.
No? Yeah. I don't know. Let me change my trashy skin.
Point is, I mean, not wrong.
Yeah, kinda. I don't know if he was. I don't know if he was messing around, but it hurt my feelings. Yeah, man, it hurt my feelings. Ew, dude, what's wrong with my pickaxe? Oh, there we go.
Where's your pickaxe for?
It was. Yes, I'm live. Jeez. Let's go Pleasant, dude.
Oh my god. Isaac, do you see what I have to get rid of? Plus 100. How? I'm just gonna throw it in there.
I don't know. This one. There's an RPG for you down here if you want it. Already got 3. Here, just drop me it so I can have 2. Somebody just died up here. Oh, okay, let's go.
Okay. So you on the plots, guy.
This building over here.
You...
That one. Got one. No, he's still running loose over here. He's grappling. Oh, behind me.
I just calculate these levels so I can
that shot. Alright.
I did. If I get rid of these guys, what should I put in there? Disco domination.
Disco domination. Oh.
Come.
Alright, where do you want to land? What's this, cookie dough? Is this cookie dough? No. Let's just land here. Oh my God. Knew he was gonna find me. What is that? Oh, kiwi?
I'm healthy.
Nope.
From the beginning, I was already being bullied because my Serbian wasn't great, because I dressed differently, and because I behaved differently. But I also felt it. I was different. I just didn't really understand what that meant, but I was also not too happy about it. When I was 13, I met a girl who soon became the answer to all the questions I had for myself. She openly told me that she was bisexual, and that she thought that I
Timmy's
was
watching
cute.
a video.
She kissed me, and all of a sudden I felt all the things my female friends told me they felt when they would kiss their boyfriends. I never felt butterflies in my stomach like that before. I was completely blown away. But I quickly realized that what I should have felt was fear. I live in a country where you can be killed for being in love with someone who is the same gender as you. The first person I ever came out to was my little brother. He had a great reaction, but I never doubted that he loved me any less, or that he wouldn't accept me. I was more concerned about the rest of my family.
Let's just land wherever you want to
I
go.
didn't have the nerve to tell them, so I stayed in the closet for a couple more years. I avoided thinking about girls, and I kept telling myself, just be normal, because I wanted to fit in, so I kept pushing it down, until I couldn't push it down anymore. It all fell apart when I met the girl who would later become my first girlfriend. After I met her, I started coming out to more and more people. I was also part of the LGBTQ community, and I started to feel a bit safer, like I wasn't alone in all of this. However, in a small town, everyone knows everything, and people started to talk about me. It didn't help that all of a sudden I had short hair and started dressing a bit more boyish. I really wanted to tell my parents, but I really couldn't. I tested out the waters one day by asking my father what he would do if my brother was gay. He answered, I would disown him. Any idea of me willingly coming out to my parents was shattered. In the end, I didn't really have a choice. They found out from a blog that I had, which clearly stated that I was in a relationship with a girl. When they asked me about it, I was terrified. I started shaking and crying. Eventually, all I managed to get out was that I was bisexual. They were so mad. So much so that I realized I couldn't get any worse than that anyway. I felt like I had nothing left to lose, so I just told them that I was gay. They were even madder. For some reason, they thought that if they grounded me, I would stop liking girls. My girlfriend lived in another town, so I had to lie extensively to be able to see her. From the day that I told them that I was gay,
I bet you if anybody's watching, like, because I just got a freaking purple burst, and I bet you're like, why are you dropping the purple burst, dude? And I'm like, I just don't like them.
Something that I never chose. I needed them, and they weren't there for me. I had to hide everything. I had to delete every single message, every single picture, and my browser history every single day. My relationship with my dad deteriorated the most. I took it really hard at the beginning because as a child, I thought of him as my superhero. In total, I think I came out to my father over 50 times, and it broke his heart every single time. He would get mad and he would tell me that this isn't the life that I wanted to live. He wasn't wrong though. Not only did I not feel safe in my own home, I didn't feel safe anywhere. In 2 separate incidents, I could have easily lost my life just because I like girls. The first time was when I went to a store and there was a few older guys in there that I knew from primary school. As I was standing in the middle of the aisle looking over my list, they started yelling things. First, I heard things like, filthy lesbian, but I ignored them. As I finished buying what I wanted and walked out, I saw that there were even more of them in front of the store. I put my head down and I started walking in the direction of my house. All of a sudden, I heard steps of multiple people running. As I turned around, I realized that they were running towards me and that a couple of them were even carrying bricks. I was immediately in fight or flight mode. I chose flight because I was terrified. They yelled horrible and disgusting things about what they would do to me. Luckily, I made it home safe, but I was never the same after that. The second time, a group of guys pulled a knife on me because they were sure that there was something wrong with either my gender identity or my sexual identity. I knew one thing for sure. I had to get away. Away from my parents, away from this town, away from these people. I applied to an exchange program and got the full scholarship to go to America. I had amazing host parents, my host mom especially.
Make sure you get some
mats. She took me to my first lesbian wedding. I think it was her way to say that it was okay for me to come out to her. When I did, she had the reaction I wish my parents had. We cried and hugged. It was a moment that I would cherish forever. Activism and support from my friends is what saved me. All of a sudden, the fact that I liked girls wasn't something weird or odd. It was normal. As time went by, I accepted myself more and more, and my relationship with my mother got better. I hated myself for too long for something that I have no control over. I went from being a depressed teenager to someone who didn't look for acceptance anymore because I accepted myself. Everyone finds inspiration and hope in different things. I found hope in the amazing LGBTQ people that I met when I was a teenager. I found hope in celebrities coming out and sharing their experience. I found hope in watching Rose and Rosie on YouTube. I found hope when I watched LGBTQ movies and TV shows that had LGBTQ characters.
Hurry up, Daymien!
And every battle is different. And some of us spend our whole lives fighting or denying who we really are. The phrase, it gets better, is something we often say in the LGBTQ community. I hated hearing it at first, but it's actually true. It took about 8 years for both of my parents to accept me, and it was a long and hard journey, but it was worth it. I wish that I could tell myself at 15 when I was crying on the bathroom floor because I wasn't normal. But it really will get better. Self-love is the most powerful thing you can do for yourself. So love yourself and be proud of who you are.
I just wasted mine. Luckily, I got mats.
Oh, hello, everyone, how is everyone doing? It is myself here. Today we are going to be reacting to the worst parents on YouTube. Now I have made a video where I reacted to spoiled kids, alright? So videos that I think, you know, like the kids are to blame because they're being spoiled little brats. But today's video, we're going to be focusing on like parents who like are really mean to their kids, okay, and pretty much just go too far by destroying like their personal stuff, okay?
Did it say that the shadow cubes are back?
Are like fake, alright, because for some reason people like watching parents destroy their kids' stuff and film it on YouTube for some reason. But you know what? I'll let you guys be the judge of that, okay? I'm gonna take it.
Which man?
I think it's real, alright?
What?
You filming us?
Are you sure that?
We've got this fat, ugly mum, alright, and she looks like she's gonna be.
Okay,
pranking her son,
wait.
He's about to play GTA 5.
Yeah, just wait. We're just gonna
like 8 years old,
secretly rush up to him.
Everyone's playing GTA 5. Do you realize this game is meant to be for 18 years old? I'm pretty sure that the game has titties in it, alright? Are you 8-year-olds looking at titties on GTA 5? Okay, that's kind of weird, alright?
I got to play GTA 5.
Who got one?
Alright, so he's playing GTA 5. She's taking out the disc? No, she's gonna destroy it.
Got one.
For pranking me today with dog ice cream.
Someone just tried to snipe me, dude.
Wait, what? This is for pranking me for the dog ice cream and burgers. Did this kid give his mom the dog ice cream and put his...
Wait, no, somebody else is shooting at them. No, stop.
And how is his mom so dumb enough to eat that? Ugh. I mean, look at the size of this little fatty, okay? I'm not surprised she bloody ate the ice cream.
It's for pranking me today
Oh.
with dog ice cream.
No, not the shrimp. Oh, no. Oh.
Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me, Mom? Are you freaking kidding me? Who's gonna find me a
Watch out, just watch out. Just watch
Who's
out.
gonna buy me a new one? Nobody. Oh my god. This is how spoiled kids are. The first thing that he thought of was like, well, who's gonna buy me a new one now, Mom? And now I don't have GTA. And I have to have GTA. Well, maybe you should have thought of that before you take your fat ass mom to bloody dog ice cream, okay? I swear to God, if I tried to do that to my mom, she would bring out the bloody silver on me. Ah, breaks
Are you
it.
freaking kidding me, Mom?
No!
No one. Oh, this poor kid.
This is what you get.
Oh, this poor kid. Oh, the dad's
No. Jokes-on said that the volume is loud.
This is so mean. Oh, and you just erased off the case as well? Okay, I mean, pretty pointless. Alright, what's he gonna do with the case? Oh. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Not that the volume is loud, it's y'all using the PlayStation cameras and microphone.
Okay, I mean, if I wanted to punish my kids, I wouldn't blame destroy their stuff, alright? I mean, I would find other ways of properly parenting my child and not making them hate me by destroying probably the one game that my child loves the most, okay? My child's gonna hate me after this, okay? Alright, I'm not sure if this kid is real, but regardless, this is terrible parenting, I swear to God.
You're testing out with my ass.
Alright, so...
Build a TV from Craigslist,
Oh.
and he put William's Xbox up to it to test
Oh.
it with, and they're arguing.
Okay. So from what I can understand is that a son and his dad are currently fighting because the dad bought a TV from Craigslist and he's using his son's Xbox, which probably the dad bought for the son, probably using his Xbox to test out the TV, and the kid is complaining about the dad using the Xbox.
I know it's a horrible spot,
the
but
dad bought for his kid.
It's my personal Xbox.
It's my personal Xbox.
I'm testing it out.
oh yeah, the boat.
TV anyway. In my bedroom. Oh, what? So you gonna sit there and be lazy all day?
Whoa! Okay,
I'm not watching it,
First
but-
thing I gotta notice, alright, this is what white families are like nowadays, because I swear to God, me coming from a bloody Indian household, okay, yeah, I could speak up to my mom or dad like this, okay? Like I said, I would get the bloody stepper, alright? I would get this thing, right, slap them onto my bloody head, no, please, I'm sorry, okay, take my Xbox, take anything you want, just stop hitting me, please, stop, please.
I'm testing it out.
He's
Where are you gonna
testing
put
it
the
out.
TV anyway? In my bedroom. Oh, what? So you gonna sit there and be lazy all day?
Whoa.
It's going in my bedroom and I'm just testing it out.
He's just testing it out.
Freaking dude. I killed somebody, and I did take the L, and then I freaking died, dude.
I'm just gonna give it back to
do
him.
that.
It's not like he's taking away his Xbox. He's taking it away for probably one evening. Can't this kid go one evening without his bloody Xbox? I hope any of you kids don't act like this.
And I know his name is Brad, but I'm not dumb.
I didn't pay for my Xbox. Why do you keep thinking I didn't pay for any of it? Guys,
Oh
you
my
can each
God.
have your own.
Yeah, like the dad just said, he bought the Xbox. I know the kid probably bought some of the games, but I mean, if he bought the Xbox, he can do anything he wants to this Xbox, alright? Especially for borrowing it for one evening. What is the big deal? I do not understand.
I didn't pay for my Xbox. Why do you keep thinking I didn't pay for any of it? Guys, you can each have your own thing, okay? What the frick are you doing? What was that? What is your problem? I just bought this. What is it? Wait.
He just picked up the TV and destroyed it. Oh my God, this kid's a spoiled little brat. Okay, this video was meant to be focusing on bad parents, but oh my God, I don't care. This kid is a little brat. He just destroyed his father's new TV. Is this kid even real? Because like, if this happened to my house again, you know.
Things are vaulted left and right in Fortnite. First they removed the factory, then they removed the crossbow. How do you remove the crossbow? Nobody even liked the crossbow.
I like the crossbow.
Alright, now this time you have to tell us where to land.
Okay. The crossbow wasn't that okay? It was pretty.
Yeah.
Anyway, today we're here to break down the top 10 things that were removed from Fortnite in Season 6. And if you click that like button and subscribe to the channel right now, you will be instantly entered for a chance to win a free vacation to a 1x1 apartment in Brooklyn, New York. Now, you might get shot, and also it's barely a vacation. But anyway, here's a turtle that was injured, so they built him a wheelchair out of Legos. With that said, let's get straight into it. Number 10. The breast
I don't think I'm
animation.
gonna be able to make
Season
it.
6 has brought us all kinds of surprises. We've had a floating island, shadow cubes that turn you into ghosts, and we've even got breast mechanics. As part of unlocking the Battle Pass, your first tier will reward you with Calamity, a cowgirl-style skin from the Western Wild set. Now, at first, this new mechanic went unnoticed.
I heard somebody.
People noticed the breast movement when testing out dance moves on the Calamity
You
skin.
freaking liar, dude.
Somehow Fortnite had slipped in chest mechanics thinking we wouldn't notice. But wait, now Epic Games
just
are
stay
claiming
calm.
that this was a complete accident, stating that this was an unintended and embarrassing accident. Seems a bit fishy to me. I mean, how do you accidentally add a very particular mechanism that someone has to have put effort into to a game? But, I mean, to be completely honest with you, I thought they vaulted the bouncers, but nevertheless, Epic have claimed that they will remove this as soon as possible. Sure enough, on the 27th, shortly after the season's release, they posted a tweet stating, "We have disabled elements of our animation system. This means you may see visual issues with some outfits. We can be sure this is an attempt to fix this before it blows out of proportion." Number 9, Shadowstone. The Shadowstones are a big part of the Season 6 new and improved Battle Royale map. They're small cube-shaped objects that, when consumed, turn you invisible. They'll give you the ability
Guys,
to
it'll
run backwards and
echo.
higher, taking
Like,
more
really
damage
badly.
through walls, for up to 45 seconds anyway. At first, everything was fine. People were using these new items to make some amazing plays. But not long after, a glitch was discovered where you could become a shadow formed permanently. This was massively overpowered, as you could also use your guns. As expected, Fortnite soon removed the Shadowstones and got straight on to fixing them. After a few hours without the cubes, Fortnite released a tiny patch to bring them back. The glitch is now gone, and the Shadowstones seem to be working perfectly, but as of making this video, Fortnite actually tweeted earlier that they've removed the stones again. Like before, Fortnite never gave any actual reason for the removal. The first time was obviously an almost god mode-like glitch, but the second removal of the stones hasn't been made clear. Let us know in the comments if you know what happened. Number 8, Impulse Grenades. When impulses were first introduced to the game, we hadn't seen anything really like it, and it soon became one of the most popular items to keep in your inventory. Need a quick and easy way to kill the guy you're having a build battle with? Impulse. Need to get away from someone? Impulse. And if you got pretty skilled with it, you can even prevent yourself from taking falling damage when falling. As much fun as it was in its time, with so many crazy items coming out like the shockwaves, the bounce pads and the grappling hook, it's not surprising when the impulses get left behind. The game is getting a lot more advanced and killing people to fall damage
I didn't know that.
as easy as it used to be. We're pretty sure Epic Games saw this trend in an attempt to make more space for the more popular items in the game. Epic have removed the impulses from Battle Royale, however, you can still find them in Playground mode. You will be missed, my friend.
Because he got rid of impulses?
And the original Swanton Bomb. Number 7.
But you can only find them in
Locations and
Playground.
statues.
Yeah.
Throughout Season 5, we've had the multiple Easter egg island statues to use as a pretty nice landing zone. The statue could give you around 100 brick, a chance of 3 chests, and possible rifts located around. An easy and safe way to start off your game and then rift into the action. The rifts themselves run some of the most favored features to the game, an easy way to travel, escape, or even get a jump on your opponent. But with Season 5, all these statues have been removed, along with their chests and the surrounding rifts. Fortunately for us, not all the rifts have been removed. Places like the motels still have their rifts, and there are even some new rift locations with one new spot on the top of the mountain next to the new castle at Haunted Hills. There's definitely not as many as before, though, and before long you'll be remembering what it's like to actually run the whole distance to the safe zone. Number 6, LMG. Being able to mow down enemy building can always be an entertaining way to kill your enemy. Spray-type weapons may be heavily debated right now, but hey, they can still be a lot of fun. The minigun is really useful for that, but having that wait time when firing the weapon can leave you a bit exposed, and that's exactly what the LMG was good for. Being able to mow down enemy builds without too much worry and running out of ammo and losing your agility to a heavy minigun. However, the LMG wasn't exactly the most common weapon to be used. Its flash was so big that it took up most of the view in which you're trying to aim through, making it a bit difficult to track your enemy. Epic Games are always introducing and removing certain items or weapons in attempts to create a better game style for all of us. So it'll be interesting to see what they have planned out for the weapons this season to balance out the removal of 2 weapons. Number 5, the old retail...
Hey, Savannah.
Oh, this thing is so fun, I can already tell. You guys remember this boy? I unboxed him a couple months back, and as you can see, this guy had a big attitude problem. He kept striking my tongs and just wouldn't stop. So today, he is going to meet his girlfriend. Well, tomorrow he'll meet his girlfriend. But in order for him to meet his girlfriend, we're going to have to transport him. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to put him in... Oh my gosh, dude, calm down. This guy, as you can see, is not happy at all. If this guy ever stings me, yeah, that will be me playing with my life. So I got to do this as carefully as I can, because one mistake, that's it. Just one. I cannot afford
that's how you can get him.
So we're gonna have some fun packing this guy up. Let's see how he reacts. Okay, I've got the supplies. All we need is a container that has a lot of holes. Well, actually, you don't need a lot of holes because these guys, they can go without air for quite some time. But you know, it's better to be safe than sorry. And then we've got some paper towels for the lining of this. We will pack paper towels in here, so during shipping, if they were to throw boxes, you know, postal service, something can be really, really bad. The paper towels will act as a cushion. I'm gonna have to set this up first, and then we'll mess with them. We usually always unbox stuff. We never really ship stuff out. We unbox tarantulas. We unbox scorpions. What else do we unbox? I don't even remember. But today, it's gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna ship this guy out. Instead of receiving something, we're gonna send something out. So doing something like this, dealing with the death.
Please remember, turn off the faucet when you brush, today and every day.
So this is probably the most expensive I've ever spent on slings. What I'm familiar with, and cotton, and the fruit netting. The stuff that you find apples and oranges and usually. Those who are suffering from OCD, I'm sorry. Yep, I just have to do that. Let's get this thing open. Isn't this the container that people eat sushi in? I like sushi, by the way. Do you guys like sushi?
Freaking controllers must. Ugh.
Those little tarantulas. Those have little tarantulas.
Yep.
Baby tarantulas.
Crazy, I know. Now, a lot of you guys mentioned that because of me, you guys got into the hobby.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, of course.
I got 2 people watching.
This is a very addictive hobby. If you have no such
no. I mean, I watched one of their videos, but...
Another super focus. This is blue.
possibly the most gruesome of human taboos. The act of cannibalism has never been socially acceptable in most places. That's not to say humans haven't eaten each other at times. Archaic humans, such as Neanderthals, were said to feast on each other as well as other animals. Meat was meat to that wandering animal. Throughout history, tribes from the Congo to the Amazon basin to the South Pacific Islands have also practiced cannibalism. Stranded humans have resorted to flesh breakfasts, such as the Donner Party and the Uruguayan rugby players that got stuck on a mountain. That was a matter of survival, and eating pellets of human thigh was a moral dilemma, unlike it may have been for certain serial killers. Today, we'll show you a truly shocking tale of cannibalism in this episode of the infographic show, Cannibal Island, the real battle royale. This island, called in a French documentary, L'Île au Cannibal, was indeed for a while home to a kind of Hunger Games environment. Call it what you want, but this was a historical, non-fictional battle royale. And as some historians have said, a blight on humanity, testament to how bloody cruel we can be at times. In 1933, the Soviets decided to deport around 6,000 people to a remote island in Siberia. That was Nazino Island, a place where criminals and political prisoners were not going to escape from. Under the paranoid leader Joseph Stalin, these folks were shipped off and abandoned with nothing much more than the clothes on their back, a few tools, and flour. Those that refused to make the move were shot, while millions of people that Stalin saw as a threat to the Communist Party, or who had committed crimes, were sent to many parts of Siberia. The thousands sent to this wild island were perhaps the most unfortunate victims. Not only were they only given a few kilos of flour each, but they weren't even given cooking utensils or other foodstuffs. Guards went along too, and it was thought the prisoners would be able to somehow survive. But imagine being dropped off on a tiny island no longer than 2 miles long and 1,800 feet across, with thousands of other desperate people. The island wasn't home to many animals or much edible vegetation. What would you do? You might well fight for the flour that you've been given. It's said the prisoners quickly ran out of flour, and when authorities sent over another batch, the people were so hungry they fought tooth and nail to get it, during which time many prisoners were just shot dead. It's also said that guards on the island would keep the flour for themselves, and if you wanted some, you had to pay in some way. You can only imagine what favors were demanded by these abusers of power. But even if you had flour, you had nothing you could do with it except mix it with river water. That's what many people did, and soon prisoners fell gravely ill with dysentery. Things went from bad to worse. With many prisoners left to die, they formed gangs on the island, with a plan to take what they could from others. It was anarchy. It was hell, the nadir of human depravity. We should add there that some doctors were sent to the island when things got really bad. But it's said that even they feared for their lives. Power ruled, and the guards, it said, established a reign of terror. They killed you if you tried to escape, and they might kill you if you were caught stealing. Some people on the island did have some valuables on them, such as their rings, their gold teeth, and some money. They could use this to bargain with. But it's said much of the time if you had something of value, you got killed for it. Murder became commonplace as hungry men battled to survive. But murder was not the final act. The consumption of corpse was, in some cases. Human meat was better than starving to death, and in terms of nutrition, a lot better than dirty water mixed with flour. One of the few survivors of Death Island later talked about one thing he witnessed. He said one day a young guard called Kostya had left a girl he had been staying with, just for a short time as he had to go somewhere. This was what happened to her according to that witness. People caught the girl, tied her to a poplar tree, cut off her breasts, her muscles, everything they could eat, everything. They were hungry. They had to eat. When Kostya came back, she was still alive.
No, they saw me, man.
He tried to save her, but she had lost too much blood.
Oh no, help me!
All happened in a
what the heck, Daymien?
time. Most of the prisoners were dropped off on May 18th. Another 1,200 arrived May 27th. Within a couple of weeks, 70 people had died. 5 of them had been someone's breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Are you gonna get Friday the 13th?
That people can survive longer without food.
Are you gonna get Friday the 13th? Yeah.